All right, but you're adding and you're subtracting integers. Remember that if you are adding numbers or integers that have the same signs, you're going to add and keep the sign. And then if you're subtracting, you know to subtract when they have different signs, and then you keep the sign of the greater absolute value. So number one, you're going to do 12 plus 19, which is just your normal integers, which is going to give you 31. Number two is 26 minus 14. Again, those are normal integers, so you're going to get 12. And then number three is 25 plus a negative 13. So this is when you have opposite signs, so you're going to subtract, and you'll get 12, and it will stay a positive 12 since 25 is the bigger absolute value. You've got 14 minus 26, and since 26 has the greater absolute value, it's actually a negative 26, so your answer is going to become a negative 12. 9 plus negative 14, you've got opposite signs, so you're going to subtract, and because 14 is the bigger absolute value, your answer is going to be a negative 5. 8 minus a negative 12, when there's two negatives next to each other, you're actually going to make them into a plus sign because it kind of distributes it. So two negatives next to each other are going to be an addition sign, so that will give you 20. Number 7, you have a negative 23 minus an 11 because that sign tells you that 11 is negative. So since they're both negative, you're going to add them together, and the sign is going to follow. So your answer is going to be a negative 34. Number 8 is a negative 12 plus 28. So you are going to subtract 12 minus 28, and you're going to end up getting 16, and it'll be positive because 28 is the bigger absolute value. 4 minus 35. 35 is the greater absolute value, so your answer is going to be negative 31. Number 10, you've got those two negatives again by each other, so that's going to become a positive. So you're actually going to do 7 plus 5, which will give you 12. Number 11 is 16 minus 21, and since 21 is the bigger absolute value, it's a negative 5. Negative 11 plus 10, you've got opposite signs, so you subtract, and since 11 is greater absolute value, it's going to be a negative 1. You've got a negative 8 minus the 13, so they're the same signs, add them together but keep the sign, so it'll be a negative 21. Negative 3 plus 2, so you've got opposite signs, so subtract, and your answer is 1, but it's going to be a negative because 3 is the bigger absolute value. And then you've got a negative 4 minus a 9, so you're going to add them together, which would give you 13, and then it's going to be negative because both signs are negative.